The sound that stopped Jack Carter cold in the middle of a quiet school hallway wasn't a scream. A cry or an alarm was laughter. Sharp, careless laughter. The kind that cuts deeper than bullets ever could. Jack stood outside classroom 3A, his worn duffel bag hanging from one shoulder. His service dog pressed calmly against his leg. He had survived combat zones overseas, survived explosions and ambushes. But nothing had prepared him for the tight, crushing pain that seized his chest when he leaned just enough to see inside that room. I share news stories here every day, and I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and liked my video. Now let's jump back into my story. I'm sure you'll love it if you keep listening till the end, and tell me from which part of the world you are watching this story. I am interested to know how far away this story traveled. Inside the classroom, Jack's daughter stood at the front. Emily balanced awkwardly on her metal prosthetic leg, her crutches trembling in her small hands. Her shoulders shook as she fought back tears, eyes fixed on the floor like she wished she could disappear. Standing over her was the teacher, ruler raised, face twisted with irritation rather than concern. She pointed at Emily as if she were a problem to be solved instead of a child to be protected. The teacher's voice carried through the room, mocking, slow, and cruel. She complained about Emily being too slow, too distracting, asking the class if learning should stop just because one student couldn't keep up. A few students shifted uncomfortably. Some stared at their desks, but others laughed. Real laughter, loud enough to echo. Each burst made Emily's lip tremble harder until tears finally spilled down her cheeks. Jack's knuckles turned white. Memories of war flooded his mind dust. Chaos, fear, but none of it compared to this. War was honest about its violence. This was different. This was humiliation disguised as discipline, cruelty hidden behind authority. And it was happening to the one person Jack would give his life for without hesitation. Beside him, Rex sensed the change instantly. The dog's ears lifted, his body tense but controlled, eyes locked on Emily. Jack forced himself to breathe. Soldiers learn to observe before acting. Fathers learn when watching becomes unforgivable. Emily tried to answer a question. Her voice barely came out. As she shifted her weight, one crutch slipped slightly. The laughter grew louder instead of stopping. The teacher snapped at her to stand properly, as if that had ever been a choice Emily was given. Something cracked open inside Jack. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a bad day. This was routine. A quiet cruelty happening daily beneath smiling school banners and proud town slogans. This teacher was praised at church, admired at meetings, trusted with children, yet here she was, tearing down a wounded child in front of her peers. Walking away would be betrayal. Jack stepped closer to the door, heart pounding. Morning sunlight spilled across the hallway floor as he made a silent promise to his daughter. One that would change everything in that classroom. He pushed the door open. The soft click of the handles sounded louder than a gunshot. Laughter died mid-breath. Every head turned at once. The teacher froze, ruler suspended in the air. Jack entered calmly, Rex moving perfectly at his side. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't rush. His face held the kind of calm that comes before justice, the most dangerous calm of all. He walked straight to Emily and knelt down despite the pain in his injured knee. Gently, he wiped her tears away with his thumb. "You're brave," he whispered. "You're strong. And you did nothing wrong." Emily clung to his jacket, breathing in the familiar scent of leather and cold air. Rex lowered himself beside her, pressing his warm body against her leg, a silent promise that she wasn't alone. Jack stood slowly and turned to face the teacher. His voice was steady, clear, and heavy with accountability. "Please," he said, "repeat exactly what you just said to my daughter. The teacher stammered. Words failed her. Jack nodded, not in anger, but understanding. He spoke about dignity, about how real strength is measured by how we treat those already carrying more weight than most adults ever will. He reminded her that authority without compassion is just cruelty with permission. The room was silent. Jack turned to the students. Laughing at someone's pain is easy, he said. Standing up for them is what defines who you become. The words sank deep. One by one, faces changed. Shame replaced amusement. A small boy in the front row whispered, "I'm sorry." Then another. And another. Emily's shaking slowed. Her shoulders relaxed. Moments later, the principal arrived, drawn by the tension. The truth spilled out quickly, because cruelty rarely survives daylight. The teacher was escorted out, her reputation collapsing under the weight of what had been hidden for too long. Jack refused praise, refused applause. His focus never left Emily as he helped her stand tall again. Outside, the sun felt warmer. The air felt lighter. Emily smiled for the first time that day as Rex wagged his tail, proud and steady. Jack knew battles would always exist, but some fights matter more than all the rest. As they walked away from the school, Jack realized that protecting his child had healed something inside him, too. Because sometimes the bravest thing a veteran can do isn't fight a war but stand up quietly and say, "Enough. Thanks for watching till end. Please like and subscribe my channel. I will be very thankful to you."